Now we will do one question based on the quantization of charge. Find the number of electrons in 1 coulomb charge. Mean the amount of charge Q equal to given 1 coulomb. The charge present on one electrons equal to 1.6 10 to the power mass 19 coulomb. We know that Q is equal to Ne, then Q equal to 1 coulomb equal to N into 1.6 10 to the power mass 19 coulomb. So by transposition we can do N equal to 1 upon this much, then by solving N equal to 1 upon 1.6, this mass will go upside, become positive. Now when we remove the decimal, so N equal to 10 upon 16 10 to the power mass 10 to the power 19, 2 5 is 10, 2 6 2 8 is 16. Now when we will reduce one power, so it will be 50 upon 8, then 19 will be 18. Now when we will divide 50 by 8, so we will get 6.25 10 to the power 18 electrons. Means the number of electrons present in 1 coulomb equal to 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. Now we have to read about the differences between mass and charges. Differences between mass and charge. What are the differences between mass and charges? First of all, we can say that the force acting between mass, is always attractive. The force acting between mass is always attractive. The force acting between charges may be attractive or repulsive, because you know that like charges repel to each other and unlike charges attract to each other. Second difference, mass is not quantized but charge is quantized. Third difference is mass is not conservative. Mass can be changed into energy but charge is conservative. Next one, the SI unit of mass is kg but the SI unit of charge is coulomb. Mass can exist without charge. Mass can exist without charge, but charges cannot exist without mass. Charge cannot exist without mass. Accelerated mass produce radiation, but accelerated mass do not produce radiation, but accelerated charge produce radiation. So these are the differences between the mass and charge. Now we have to read about the Coulomb's law. Already we have read about the Newton's law of gravitation in the 9th class. Newton's law of gravitation in the 9th class already we have read. In the Newton's law of gravitation, you have read that F proportional to m1 m2 and F proportional to 1 upon r square, then F proportional to m1 m2 upon r square, then F is equal to g m1 m2 upon r square. That already you have read in the 9th class. Similarly, according to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force acting between two charges, you can note down the definition. According to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force acting between two charges is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. F proportional to Q1 Q2 and F proportional to 1 upon r square. Then by joining we can write F proportional to Q1 Q2 upon r square. Now when we will remove the proportional, then we will put one constant K Q1 Q2 upon r square, where K is the proportional constant and K is equal to given 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught equal to, its value is given 9 into 10 to the power 9, and its unit will be Newton meter square per coulomb square. This is the value of the constant. Where epsilon naught, if we read in the higher class, means in the 12th class, that what is the epsilon naught? This is called the permittivity of the free space. Permittivity of the free space means in the Coulomb's law we can say that force between two charges depends on the magnitude of either charges and the distance between them also. And the value of the k depends, the value of the k means the value of the constant. If the charges are placed in the vacuum, then the value of k will be equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. But when the charges are placed in any medium, then the value of k will change. Means it depends on the intermediate medium between the two charges. That medium between the two charges. Now we will read what are the differences between the Coulomb's law and firstly we read what is the similarity between the Coulomb's law and gravitational law. Similarity we can say that in the gravitational force, that gravitational force is directly proportional to the product of the masses. Similarly, the electrostatic force is also proportional to the product of the magnitude of charges. Gravitational force inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, and that electrostatic force is also inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. But these are the similarities. Now we have to read about the differences between the electrostatic force and gravitational force. What are the differences between them? Now we can say that gravitational force do not depends on the medium between the masses, but the electrostatic force depends on the medium present in the charges. These are the basic difference between the electrostatic force and gravitational force. Okay. Now I put here some questions, just you have to give the answer. Try to think. First one, we have read that when a body rubbed with the other body, then body being charged. That already you have read. When you will take the fiber scale rubbed with the silk cloth, then fiber scale become charged and it start to attract the small piece of the paper. And now when we will take a iron rod, when that iron rod rubbed with the silk cloth, or the iron rod rubbed with our hair, that iron rod do not attract the small piece of the paper. Why? Why? Just think and give the answer on the comment. Second point, why the tires of the aeroplane is made of metallic? Why the tires of the aeroplane is made up metallic? The two questions I had given, you have to think and search and give the answer on the comment. Thank you, class.